Hey Flosstube, this is Tara with Will the Woman Crafts, and we are here for a July mid-year situation. We are filming in the evening, so I have a little drinky. Cheers. Hope you are having a good weekend. Hopefully maybe it's a long weekend for you. I am gonna work tomorrow. It's Sunday, July 2nd. I am gonna work tomorrow, but we do have early release, and then I'm off on Tuesday, so that'll be exciting. But this should also be an exciting video. I have multiple fully finished objects. Y'all are gonna be shocked. It's been a crazy month in the finishing, organizing department. Additionally, I don't have a lot of whips, and then I've gone back and forth about a whip parade, but I'm down to like 7 whips now. And yeah, I don't know. If you feel passionately about it, maybe I'll film it separately, but I also have 2 boxes that I meant to like film separately that I didn't, so we're gonna go over those as well. So should be a fun one, might be a long one. So, you know, if you need one of these, I understand. So the fully finished objects. So I had a friend come into town, and this is Montana friend, elusive Montana friend. I need to give her like a code name, but she had a conference in Atlanta, and so she swung by. After her conference, she was flying out, but she had like a couple hours between her leaving her conference and her flight. So she came over, and girl got to work. It was crazy. So it's kind of funny because one of my initial goals for the year, I believe, was to organize my craft room a little bit more. Not that this is fully a craft room. This is like my office / craft area. I'm mainly confined to like a cart to organize the craft cart, and the craft cart got a major upgrade. We got a pegboard upgrade, so I'm going to insert some footage real quick because I'm just off the top, I'm so excited about this. This is my favorite thing this month. So, doesn't the wall look amazing? I, to the best of my ability, kind of like rainbow organized the threads. And yeah, if you want any details about the pegboard, let me know. That ended up being super easy to put together, and I have all my floss rings up there, and I'm just so excited. I'm so excited it's up. So that was huge. That was a huge one. And so in the spirit of her coming over and organizing things, we reorganized what was going on in the cart as well. And she got on me about fully finishing. It's very wonderful. She's such a great hype woman. She's just like, you make all these beautiful things, they need to become things that are sitting out that you can enjoy, which I'm sure many of us stitchers can relate. Like, my hobby is stitching, okay? It's not doing all this other stuff, but we did get some things. So we'll start with the small ones first. So not that exciting, but hey, it's off the to-do list. So the first one I got done was this Mill Hill like Christmas tree globe, and I did this over this past holiday season. I did cheat a little bit. I think what honestly had stalled me on this is that there are enough of the clear beads, I don't know if you could tell, but the whole edge of the globe is in these clear beads, and there are enough clear beads in the kit for you to make a beaded hook, but I clearly wasn't gonna do it, so I had just a little like sparkly twine or something here, and so I just went ahead and put it on that, backed it with some white or cream felt. So that's ready for the tree this year. So that was fully finished number 1. And then fully finishes number 2 and 3 were actually a landmark for another reason. So if you have not come across I don't know anyone else who like started this. The first time I heard of a like cross stitch journal was from Michelle Lindy Stitchy. And I love the concept. Basically it's not just for putting cross stitch on the front and this isn't even the fully finish. But it's for storing like, you know, just storing little smalls that you don't really know what to do with in the pages of a journal. And so Michelle and her favorite journal creator collaborated in 2021, I want to say, and put together this as a full kit. So you could buy the journal, and then Michelle came out with this pattern, which I don't think I've shown on the channel, but it says the world is odd and sometimes wonderful. The chart is out for sale just to the public now. It came with lace to finish it with. I ended up using a different lace, but yeah, and then it came with the Fiberlicious. I got the Fiberlicious cottons. So anyway, that was like a fully finish, and I have not touched the journal since, which is hilarious because the day that I finished the journal, or at least like the day I finished this stitch, I think the next day I stitched a small with the intent to put it in this journal. So I'll show you. So I finished 2 things in here. So this is the first one. Please don't judge me. This is my first shot at like junk journaling, but this is Pick Your Poison from, oh, I don't think I have it written down. It was from the 2021 Just Cross Stitch Halloween magazine. So I did this a while ago. I didn't use any of the called for. This was a fun one to like challenge myself to use some of my specialty threads, so it's extra appropriate after like reorganizing my threads where I can see them, that this was a piece where I did all custom colors and I loved how it came out. So I tried to just like not overdo it. The kit came with a lot of like ephemera and stuff, so this postcard I think came from that, and then I had like a mushroom sticker, and then these 2 puzzle pieces are from a puzzle that I got that was actually a like mystery image, and it was based off the Agatha Christie book Murder on the Nile, I believe, and there were 2 extra puzzle pieces, so I've been holding on to them this whole time. And so anyway, I don't know, I thought they added a good vibe there, and so I'm hoping to like write details about this piece maybe somewhere. And this one you'll see a big gap. So this is the other piece I finished. So this is Dee's new hat from Lindy Stitches. It's not a perfect circle. Nothing about this is perfect, but that is okay because it's in the journal and it's finished. So since this is Lindy Stitches, I picked 3 stickers that came with the Bird Crush Club this year, and I'm hoping to kind of journal a little bit about like the Bird Crush Club experience, even though if you've been around, you know I'm not done. I have 4 more birds to stitch. But yeah, I just put a little like music behind there, and then like where I tore it, I finished on the bottom. Like I said, just trying not to like overdo it. We're easing in, less is more, right? So those were 2 finishes in the cross stitch journal, and I'm really happy to have like broken it in. And then lastly, so this was kind of the final piece of my friend's generosity in her few short hours here. So we were going through all my finishes and kind of planning out what could be done. And one of them I had initially planned to be a pillow, and I had actually not only just planned, but purchased supplies that would be appropriate to make it into a pillow, and I just hadn't. So she took pity on me and packed up the supplies, packed up the quilting fabric, packed up the trim I had picked out and all that, and my piece, and flew with it back to Montana. First to DC, it's been all over. Flew back around and finished it for me and shipped it back to me. So without further ado, this is Current Mood from Autumn Lane Stitchery. I do think this one made, if I recall correctly, this one made an appearance on the channel. I think I stitched it last year. This was in, I think this was in that same magazine. I think this was in Just Cross Stitch 2021. Love it. I love it so much. Here's the fabric on the back. Very fun. I had purchased this palm trim at either Michael's or Joann's, and it was like an off cut, so I got like a really good sale on it, but I had no idea like how long this was going to be or whatever. And my friend told me, I think she said that there was like exactly 3 palms left or something. So this was exactly to size. Thank goodness, because it clearly would have been too much for me to have gone out and found a different trim, but I'm so happy with it. So yes, this is another one that is ready for the fall. I'm just upping my decoration game. So, and this is on a 28 count Be Stitch Me Lugana in anemone. I had to think the word through in my head before I said it, but all DMC, all lovely. Amazing. Okay, and then, oh yeah, sorry, I just, this last fully finish just happened mere hours ago. I don't know if other Flosstubers can relate to this, but I have a little bit of like a toxic trait of like, I sometimes am like, I don't want to stitch because I don't have enough to show. That's silly, but I did feel that way and I did finish this, and so I justified filming because I don't have a lot of cross stitch to show, I feel like, but I have a lot of finishing to show. So this one, let's see if I can kind of puff it up here, is a bag. Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, wow, so much about this one. I feel like I'm kind of flying through these, but I'm just so excited. I want to share everything. So this pattern is the Stitch and Stow bag from the Simple Quilt Shop. I will put up if that's not correct. I purchased the finishing kit from them. So so all of this fabric, with the exception of this gray one, this was from my own stash, but I'll show you the back. This is all from the kit, and this is the cross stitch. So I stitched this piece maybe last year. I don't remember genuinely. But this is Hands On Designs Let's Talk Stitching, and this is the square design. That pattern has like three different designs. So this is the little medium-sized square. And yeah, I'm so happy with how this came out. It has a zipper and it has this nice cream fabric, again from Simple Stitches, or hopefully I'm saying that right, which they were so nice because I got a little confused reading the instructions and just didn't really like, I don't think I was visualizing how small these pieces were, and I was like, I don't think you sent me enough fabric. And she was like, they were so nice about it. She was like, oh my gosh, first of all, congrats, you're gonna do great. I'm so proud of you for doing this already. Like, they gave me such a pep talk, and then we're like, also, there's definitely enough fabric, you can do this. Which there was. Like I said, I pulled in this gray just because I liked it, and it looked closer to the cover photo, because if you've been around, you know that I don't really do a lot of customizing. I love following instructions, so this kind of looked closer to the image on the pattern. Anyway, so yeah, and this was stitched on oh boy, I should look this up. I know it was from, no, I don't know anything. Oh, I have to put that one up too. I'm so sorry. It's gone. It's some kind of chalkboard chalk linen, but which I think it was the called for, and all the called for DMC. And yeah, so happy. And I really loved, they had this cute little, like, they show you how to basically fabric cover your zipper here, and it just looks so nice. I feel like that looks so profesh. I love it. So anyway, this can go all my other bags. Well, or it needs a start is what that is that I'm now allowed to start because look at this beautiful bag. So this was finish number 5 in the last month. Madness. Don't expect that from me again. I clearly had these like big waves of finishing and interspersed with absolutely no finishing whatsoever. So that was huge. That was exciting. I also had a really big finish this month. So I think I mentioned in my last video, I'm just realizing I didn't clip this. You'll just stay with me. In my last video, I showed this piece and I was like, oh, we'll see, like it'd be kind of nice. I finished it. So this is Must Be Possible by Kathryn Landis, and the full quote reads, "The impossible could not have happened, therefore the impossible must be possible in spite of appearances." And then it has Agatha Christie's little signature at the bottom. So this was very fun. This is so different from anything I've stitched. I adore the font. So it actually was a like lettering artist who came up with this like design, and then Katie converted it to a cross stitch pattern. So it's kind of cool and just a little bit different look. This one had a couple of firsts in it for me. It had my first etoile, I believe, and then also my first not have in here is 1/1. So I've never had a pattern that had like a section that was 1/1 basically. So 2 firsts for me in this one, which is always cool. This is stitched on a 32 count linen from Jody Fabrics, and we'll see if I can get a photo of this or not. I'm gonna have to find like the pin and stuff, but this is a blood spatter fabric, but it only shows under like black light. So if I can get a photo in, I will show you, because I'm curious to see how it looks with the finished work on it anyway. So we'll see. If you see that, cool. If not, I'm sorry, I was unable to get that. But yeah, all DMC, the etoile, and then the regular, and I just love it. I just love it. This one, I have a finishing plan. This one I think is gonna go into a frame. My partner really likes it as well, and so he was like, that one needs to go up. So I don't know where it's going up, and I don't know what frame I'm gonna get. I feel like it needs maybe just like a simple thin black. I wish I was more creative, but I like black, and I feel like I don't want to detract from the work. So anyway, there it is. Amazing. Oh, I just realized there's little threads on there. Sorry. There we go. One more for the road. Okay, great. So that is all of my fully finishes and finished stitching. Cheers to that. Amazing. So I only have 2 whips, and neither of them are going to be new to you, and neither of them are going to have all that much progress either. So we'll just crank these out, and then we'll get into boxes. So here's my Dark Queen of the Earth from Autumn Lane Stitchery as well, on my 32 count Under the Sea Fabrics in Nightshade. Since it is July 2nd, I am now 2 parts behind. So her crown, or her headpiece, as you can see, is basically going to be all like branching into the branches there. And then there's some big flowers that I need to add. So that's all of part 10 that I haven't finished. And then part 11 just came out today, and they released her like feet, like what's going on in the gap that's in the dress at the bottom. And additional, like where this vine kind of comes down is missing a chunk. So that chunk is there. And that is the last of the cross stitching. So I'm very motivated to get back to this and like wrap it up before August, because August will be all the beading and backstitch, and then we are done. We're done. Can you believe? So yeah, sorry, not a thrilling update. There's maybe only like 300 stitches in part 10 or something in there, but it is what it is. I have been fighting again my elbow pain, and I've been like very annoyingly, work has been requiring my attention during the day. I typically can sneak in, like I work from home, and you know, between like with meetings and things, sometimes I sneak a good amount of stitching in during my work day. But that has not been so in the past couple of weeks. And then on top of that, with having my elbow kind of flare up, I don't really know what's going on. I don't know if it's tennis elbow. I don't know if it's carpal tunnel. And it's been frustrating because I haven't been stitching just from like sheer lack of time. And for my elbow to like continue to grow in pain when I'm not even stitching, I don't know. It must be like the typing. I'm not sure. I need to continue to look up more stitches. But anyway, I digress. That's part of why there's not a lot of whips going on. And then, of course, my, sorry, look at the picture out. My Heaven and Earth Designs, Myles Pinkey's The Astronomer. This does have some progress since you saw it last. So I believe last time I was kind of like in this area. So I did make it all the way over underneath this kind of star cluster here. So haven't fully finished the square that I'm on. I see, but we are about to, I hadn't decided, but I think I am maybe gonna like tack this square on and then come back over here. But yeah, we're almost another whole row across. And the reason I want to tack one more square on is because that will be like 2 pages width, which would be nice. So I'd be completing like 2 pages simultaneously. So that's where that is. Still looking beautiful, but like a lot of nothing. And since it is mid-year, we'll review. My goal for this one was to be at 10% by the end of the year. And which, since this is halfway through the year, one might expect that I would be at 5%, and that is not the case, but I haven't touched this in 2 weeks. So I think I am just under 4. I'm at like 3.99%. So I'm basically, we'll say I'm at a generous 4%. So I have a ways to go, but that's okay. That's okay. We had some great strides in my like goals for the year with all of this organizing and finishing. So anyway, I want to shout out I had a friend visit Mexico, and he picked me up 2 yarns. I mean, bless your non-crafty friends, right? Because I just get a text when he's in Mexico and he was like, do you use yarn? And I was like, you know, I find myself on occasion using yarn. Yes, in fact. No other questions, no follow-up, whatever. So I love this. So this is 100% cotton, Symphonia by Omega. I'm not really sure what I'm curious to look up like what the distribution of this is. Like, is this only distributed in Mexico, or does it have like North American, or Mexico is in North America, northern US and Canada distribution? I'm just curious about what it is, but I will say I think it would be really good for other like Pokemon amigurumi, because it is that nice, like, it's not fuzzy, it's just very like, it's just cotton. Or, you know, it can make them some sick like dishcloths or something. So, and these are great colors for me. I love that. So thank you for that. Okay, boxes. So the first box that I got this month was my first Starlight Stitchery box. So this is the pirate stitching box. I don't really know how I want to do this here. Sorry, I didn't think this through super well. So I did want to show, so it came in a cardboard box with this amazing wax seal of an octopus. I love that. And then, so this one I feel like is the demonstration of a box that's like more stitchy focused, because I think a lot of people, you know, that's a big priority, which makes sense. Your craft is stitching, you want stitching items. So this was their little like inventory sheet. And I think the big claim to fame for the Starlight Stitchery boxes are their pattern collections. So they released them in these like bound books. They are gorgeous. So as I said, this is the Pirate Stitch box. So let's run through these real quick. There are 12 patterns in here, and I love so many of them. So first up we have the Black Pearl by the Witchy Stitcher. That's one I definitely feel like I would stitch. What Lies Beneath by Stitch Sprout. Like I said, just in the interest of time, I'm not going to read all these out. Hanged Like a Dog from Pixel Pixie. If you had, well, it's me not reading. If you had fought like a man, you needn't be hanged like a dog. Hanged, hanged. We have Captain Polly from Fine Frog Stitching. we have Pirate Quaker from Michelle Bendy. And I will say, of all of them, this one might get me first because Michelle did us the kind service of calling for the threads that we got in the box. So spoiler, these are the thread colors. So I love that. And, you know, I don't do Quakers, but this seems small and it's cute and it's pirate. So it might get me. It might get me. Next up, we have the Dancing Molly by Urban Stitches. This is very cool black work. So I love just like the variety of patterns in here. I definitely feel like there's kind of something for everybody. We have Treasure Map from Cobweb and Rose, which says, spin me a yarn of the briny sea of pirates' treasure and Davy Jones' keep. Nice little map. If you're hearing any other noises, it is D&D night over here. I don't speak for that. Next up, we have Captain Sea Paws, which this is another one that might get me, from Mama Witch Cross Stitch. I am absolutely dying. It's a possum running from a skeleton. A pirate possum saying ahoy. I love it so much. I love it so much. And I mean, the size of some of these, I mean, it's just incredible. All right, this is another one. So a lot of these might get me. Ghost Ship by Noctiflora Designs. Whew. This one, I think, definitely the fabric is huge. The fabric is huge. You gotta find it. It's on an opalescent. I don't know if you can see, but gorgeous. Gorgeous. This one also, oh, so good. Defender of the Seas from Stitch Crypt. Very little creepy skeletal mermaid. We're getting there. Horizon Bound by Stitched Witch. That's a full coverage. I mean, the parrot one was also pretty much full coverage. Like, these are some big charts. Big charts. And then lastly, but not least, this is another top one for me, is Frog Pirates by Bad Stitch. Look how cute they are. He's looking through the little porthole. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And the little flies around them. I can't. Anyway, yeah, the patterns, amazing. Amazing. So I really loved that. It came with a piece of fabric. So this is Starlight Alchemy in the color Golden Sand. It's blowing it a little more yellow, but I mean, it's Golden Sand seems very accurate, I would say. Let's see, this is not gonna help. It's kind of helping. Oh, that's close enough. So yeah, this is a 32 count linen. I think you ordered what fabric you wanted on the box. So we appreciate a box where you can pick the kind of fabric you want. I will show you the threads since you already kind of got the vibe, but they are all themed. So we have, and they're all Forbidden Fiber Co., which I love, a Forbidden Fiber Co. floss. So we have no quarter. Nice red. Briny Deep. Nice blue. This is showing up well. It's a little bit deeper in person, but you can actually see like the nuances in the color, which is kind of nice. Skull and Crossbones. A nice off-white. Jolly Roger. A nice gray. I like that they're all tonal. And then Pieces of 8. A nice gold. So these all look really lovely together, and you saw them together in the Pirate Quaker pattern. So that was fantastic. We got a little gold coin, which they say you can, you know, stick a magnet to and use as a needle minder. So it says Salt and Bone. There's some numbers. I am a man of fortune and must seek. I am a man of fortune and must seek my fortune. Nice. So So we got that. We similarly got we did get a needle minder, and this is a 3D printed little like doubloon. So it's got a little magnet on the back from World on a String by Dara. Very cute. Now I'm excited to hang up the threads on the wall now that I've shown them to you. They've been living in this box. We did get a wax melt. So this is Polite Menace, which I love. It's got sparkles. And the scent is Sailing the Seven Seas with a Posh Pirate. Notes of salty sea air, teakwood citrus, patchouli, and spice. Citrus for the scurvy, it says. That's so funny. And then to go with that, we got stickers. So we have a Polite Menace sticker. Love that. As well as a sticker for the box. We got a little decaf black tea in, oh, it doesn't have a, okay, a comfort blend with black tea, cinnamon chips, orange peel, ginger, clove, and orange extract. They hit us with the orange again for our scurvy. Very fun. And lastly, we got a dictionary print. So this is pretty dang cool. It has a guaranteed authentic sticker on the back. So very cool. It's like an ink drawing. So there you have it. So this box was $165, and I don't believe I had to pay for shipping, because I think they're free domestic over $100. So I definitely think the biggest like thing to think about when you think about getting a Starlight Stitchery box, in my opinion, having gotten this one, is make sure you really love the theme. Make sure you really love the theme, because I feel like they pack a lot in these stitching. The patterns are kind of the biggest like value item in here. And so if you're picking a theme that you're kind of meh about and you don't think you'll really stitch any of them, then I think you're kind of losing out on the biggest like draw of the box. So if you're looking to build up pattern stash, and they usually always release prior to the box like who the designers are, so I highly recommend you check out their page and see like a lot of the designers who are in here, I would say, are fairly regular features in their boxes from what I've seen. But certainly go check them out, because, then if it's to your style. Like I said, I think they did a great job of spanning a lot of different styles. But again, like I said, $165 isn't cheap. So I would say like, make sure you love the theme and you believe that you will get a lot of use out of the patterns, because I think that's kind of, the biggest draw for these boxes. So then the other box I got is a Black Needle Society box, and this one is their annual Novels and Needles box. So they do novels and needles, but they kind of have like a more honed in theme every year. So last year was the Murder Mystery box, and that was where the Agatha Christie piece came from. So that was part of why I was like pushing to finish, and I actually finished it on the Black Needle Society call for this year's Novels and Needles box. So the theme for the box this year was page to screen. So all about books that have either TV or film adaptations. And what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, and then we voted on a book to read as like a book club, and we picked A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness. And while I am glad that I read it, I did not love it. I did not love it. I think that it just ended up being, it just needed a little editing. I think like a 200-page edit, I think would have hit it in the sweet spot. But I am reading the second book because it was compelling enough, even though it kind of drags on, to get me to want to know what happens next. So I am reading the next book of that series. If you are a fan and you've read all the books, let me know your thoughts. So like I said, so Black Needle Society, I feel like, is very big on blending lifestyle and stitching items, which is not for everybody. So like I said, I think this is why this one kind of highlights a different style of box. So first up, I'm gonna have to put a picture of this in too because you're not gonna be able to see it, but we got one of the famous Black Needle Society blankets. You can see the vibe. Can you guess what book this is? It is a giant chandelier. So this is Phantom of the Opera. So we got a Phantom of the Opera blanket, which sadly I will not be probably getting much use out of for several months because it is heating up over here. And I'll just go ahead and show the bag that this is in. We got this tote, this nice large tote that says, "The book was better." So aggressive. And that, I think they said on the card, like, take it to the next like movie adaptation you see. And I was like, that is aggressive. Like I said, oh yeah, here's our little card here. I loved this one. This is a Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory book sleeve. The fabric inside is Wonka bars. I die. The Gene Wilder Willy Wonka movie, when I was younger, like, I said that was my favorite movie for many years. I don't really know what my favorite movie is anymore, and I still love this movie, but so yes, loved to see like the cartoonized version of the characters from that adaptation. Love me some Willy Wonka. And this is from Love You More Studio, which is the like companion company to the Black Needle Society. It was actually their first company. So even though it is a book sleeve, you can obviously slip smaller projects in here. So that's probably how it'll get used for me. Next up, we did get fabric. So this was from Grace Notes. This was a new one to me. Grace Notes Fabrics. And the color is The Duke and I, which is the title of the first of Julia Quinn's Bridgerton books, which I read that whole series too. So love this. This is kind of to hark, if you have not seen the Netflix adaptation, this is kind of to Daphne's Blue, I would say. And Bridgerton was another one. The Duke and I, the first book, Daphne's story, not a fan. Not really a fan. I feel like those books get better as they go on. So maybe it'll be the same for Discovery of Witches. So got an 1/8 yard of that. This is a 32 count linen. We got a candle. So this is Katniss, the Girl on Fire, a candle for Katniss. Makes a lot of sense, with notes of charcoal, black pepper, bergamot, amber, and sandalwood. I did burn this a little bit the other day, and I like the scent, but it is pretty heavy for this time of year. So again, I think we'll appreciate in the fall. We also got a thread keep that is Lord of the Rings themed. So it says, "It's a dangerous business, Frodo, going out of your door." And I love, they got this from Wild Rainbow Co., who formerly was Nerdy Needle Design Co., and she stopped making these kinds of products. Wild Rainbow Co. does not make these, but so I don't know if they like had her in a contract before she did that, or if she just was willing to do it because they knew that she had the capacity. But I'm so happy. I love the little door. And I think someone on the like book club call mentioned as well, she was like, I'm not really a big Lord of the Rings person, but man, I love that Hobbit door. And it's just like adorable. It's universally enjoyable, I think, to look at. Okay, I'm down to the last couple of things here. So we got a lens cloth which is representative of Shadow and Bone. So no mourners, no funerals. I did watch the TV show. I have not watched not read the books, but I like the TV show. And so I think this is for the crows here. So a nice little lens cloth. And then we got, there's something else hiding in there. We got silks. We got some Practical Magic Bestitch Me silks. So this is Practical Magic. Gorge. Chocolate cake for breakfast. A nice brown. Maria's Curse. Nice kind of red wine. And Midnight Margaritas. And boy, it's a little bit more It's a little less green. It's like a little more lime in real life, but you get the idea. So 4 silks, amazing. We got a needle minder, of course. So this is all book to screen adaptations. So we have, oh my gosh, can I read in this light? The Hunger Games, Princess Bride, The Fellowship of the Ring, Agatha Christie Omnibus, and Bridgerton. So some little books and some little movie popcorn and film. Very cute. And then, last but not least in this box, we also got a pattern book, but kind of a different vibe. So they released for Christmas, or for the Nice List box like 2 years ago, a reprinting of A Christmas Carol, and they put 5 patterns inside the pages, which is amazing. And I need to stitch some of those, but alas. So anyway, apparently Sherlock Holmes came into public domain this year. So they partnered with one designer this year, which is Mrs. Pagati, I believe. Let me make sure I'm saying this correctly. Society. Anyway, so it is an actual like reprinting of the stories. So there are several of them, but then there are 3 patterns within it. And so basically they are all, think of a clever way to hide this here. They're all the like portraits from the front. So this is Irene Adler. I will say, these are pretty big charts. I'll see if I can kind of show you. I don't know if you can see, this pattern is spread across 4x4, 16 pages. That is not a format I am thrilled to work out of. Like, if I'm not really sure how I would try to tackle one of these. So the second one is Watson's portrait. Oh, and here we go. Yeah. Mrs. Pagati is the designer on these. They're very fun portraits. I like them a lot, but they are, like I said, I think just like the way they're in the book. And this is Sherlock. I like this interpretation of Sherlock as well. And yeah, so they're all the same. They're all like 16, just quickly flip, pages of this book. And I don't know, like I would have to scan it out of here because that's madness. So anyway, so this box was $110, but it did have $15 shipping. So this came to $125 for me. So about like a $40 price difference, and I feel like just such a different range of items. So like I said, I just think it's kind of an interesting, you know, none is better than the other. I just think it's, you know, like I said, I think with this one, with Black Needle, I feel like they just go really hard on their themes, but also like come up with really interesting items that I wouldn't expect all the time, like a lens cleaner, which maybe you're thinking to yourself, like, I don't need a freaking lens cleaner, which is fine. So, you know, this one, I feel like it plays it kind of like much safer with the Stitchy items. You know, you get like a little print, you get a little tea, that kind of thing. Sometimes food stuff comes in. So like, I don't know, they're not that different, but also I feel like they are different. I don't know. We got like the 3 patterns in a book in this one versus like the 12 patterns. So, and normally, like I said, if you've ever heard of Black Needle and their like bi-monthly subscription boxes, there is not as much in there. And there's only ever 1 pattern in those. Well, with the exception of the March box, we got kind of a package deal. But anyway, I digress. I feel like, you know, the more, there's so many places to shop. There's so many wonderful like creators and makers and all this stuff that, you know, a box might appeal to you because maybe you're like me and for every day I deserve a little treat and I keep buying these boxes. Or, you know, maybe you're someone who's newer to stitching and you want to get exposure to like some different vendors and things like that. And I think boxes are a great way to do that. So with that, holy cow. I'm kind of surprised that we're only sitting at 45 minutes here. Yeah, I think that's it. And like, I kind of reflected on some of my mid-year stuff. Like I said, I'm a little behind on my Heaven and Earth Designs goal, but you know, it is what it is. We still got plenty of time to catch up. I am thrilled about my thread organization, and I think next for that area, I want to maybe try, I've heard several people use this method, but I think maybe the Steel City Stitcher started it, but or kind of first put it out there, but maybe ordering some of those like comic book boards and trying to find a better way to present my fabric, because right now it is buried. And you know, I mean, I have heard as well that you're not really supposed to store fabric in the plastic bags, so it would be nice to like get them out and in another storage container. So that is a goal for that. Dark Queen, we'll keep moving on. Feeling good about it. Feeling good. And with this, like with finishing Must Be Possible, I am doing really well on kind of cranking down whips. So I think I'm just gonna pick my oldest whip next to start doing my like 150 stitches a week, which so far has like very much failed me. I end up just kind of doing way more than that, but it's getting projects done, and that's really all I wanted. So I think next up will be Twisted Rainbow Sampler, because I didn't work on it at all in June. I'm sorry, whatever hair is still here is just tickling me. Twisted Rainbow Sampler, I did not work on it at all in June. I did purchase the Pride Month pack from the Stitchers Collective, so I have to take a peek through those, but of course they're all cute and it's a great cause, so happy to support that. So yeah, I think Twisted Rainbow's up next, so look forward to seeing updates on that. And maybe it'll be time for a new start finally. I've been pretty good. And I think work stuff, like, you know, it's kind of that midpoint in the year. And so in my own like kind of work plan I had set out, I set a lot of things to be done at the mid-year. And so a lot of little procrastinating things have kind of come back for me. So with the mid-year having passed, I'm kind of still like wrapping up a few things, but I think within the next 2 weeks, I should be back to like a slightly more relaxed, like not just pedal to the metal all day like it has been for the past several weeks. So looking forward to that, and just yeah, trying to get some pool time. Do you hear it? There's flies. I know he hasn't made an appearance in a while, but yeah, well, I won't keep you. Hope you're having a great summer so far, and I will catch you next time. Have a good one, y'all. Bye.